how much more time do we have? Good morning, everyone. Let's call the meeting to order for Polk County Commissioners Court for June 10th, 2025. It's 10 a.m. We're in the Polk County Regional Health Building, Suite A. At this time, we would like to ask and invite Attorney Turney, retired United Methodist preacher, to lead us in prayer.
And let us pray. In your kingdom, O God, you have given us many things to do, and you have called us to serve. Remind us, Lord, that we are here to serve the greater good. Help us to put our agendas to the side long enough that we might remember that sometimes we need to do by doing, and sometimes we need to do by sitting still. Sometimes there is pain in what we do, and sometimes there is great joy. And it is into this mix of feelings and emotions and callings that we are here before you now, to seek your blessing and your guidance and always your love, and ask humbly to give us your peace. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, sir. Madam Clerk?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Mr. Turney. Did anyone sign up for public comment?
Yes, we have a Barbara Justice.
Yes. Well, hello, Barbara. How are you
I
today?
am good. Good morning. I am here to basically, for everybody, I'm Barbara Justice, Business Engagement Rep with Workforce Solutions. I am here to personally thank Judge Murphy and a few other individuals for coming to the Youth Career Summit we had on May 22nd at Leggett High School. Judge Murphy welcomed the 21 employers that we had, and then she spent time for the first part of the day with some of the students from 8th grade to 12th grade. Then we had Sheriff Lyons and his team of officers. We had the district and the county clerk, adult probation, Ms. Teresa was there, as well as district representative from District Judge Kitchen's office, and also Commissioner Precinct 3, Milton Purvis. There was a total of 73 students that attended this event. The goal of Youth Career Summits is to just let the students know about different careers that are happening, that are in the area, job opportunities, but also just to let them have hands-on with the employer so that they can talk to them and say, hey, what's the day in the life of a commissioner? What's the day in the life of a judge? And just to shake their hands and let them know that these elected officials will come out and talk to them other than when it's time for the election. So it was a lot of work to get everybody involved to participate, but I really appreciate it. And on behalf of Workforce Solutions of DP Texas, I wanted to say thank you.
Y'all did a great job.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
And I have
Appreciate
business
y'all.
cards for each one of you in the event. My job is to work with the employers to post jobs, but also in the event that there's things that you all need. So let's say you need labor market information, or you need to know like what a salary is in this particular area. You're adding on new jobs, things like that. My job is to work with you to get you the information you need.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. It was great. I do have to say that Superintendent Jan Alexander was disappointed because she had already scheduled to take kids on a field trip. And so she ended up having to miss her own Workforce Solutions.
Yes.
So, but thank you very much.
Sure.
Appreciate it. Okay, let's move forward. Polk County Commissioners Court Bobby Smith Memorial Scholarship, which is sponsored by Linebarger, Govan, Blair, and Sampson. Linebarger provides $6,000 annually to be divided evenly among the 6 school districts in Polk County. And each district selects one student to be awarded the scholarship. And today we have Jennifer with us representing. So the recipient for Big Sandy was Ainsley Barker. For Corrigan Camden, it was Briseida Aguilar. For Goodrich, it was Arlie Balbuena. For Leggett, it was Gavin Nichols. For Livingston, it was Danielle Dickens. And for Onalaska, it was Manton Farrar. You want to step forward?
Sure.
So go ahead and recognize your student.
Yes, we're so proud of you, and we hope he's gonna be a future Aggie. So yes, we hope you do wonderful with your endeavors. Yeah.
Okay, well, come up here and we'll take a picture with the court.
Like a future Aggie.
Congratulations.
so much. Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Let's do one more. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, our second scholarship is the Law Enforcement Scholarship, sponsored by MTC, which is our Management and Training Corporation that operates the IH Secure Adult Detention Facility. MTC provides $10,500 annually to be divided evenly among the 6 school districts to award the students seeking a career in law enforcement. So they have to be going into law enforcement. Each district selects one student to be awarded the scholarship. If any district does not have anybody pursuing a career in law enforcement, then the money is still evenly split amongst the students that are recipients for that year. For Big Sandy, we have Jared Garner. For Corrigan Camden, we have Arlette Trejo Jalamilla. For Livingston, we have Austin Brock. For Onalaska, we have Lilith Machete. Goodrich ISD and Leggett ISD did not have any students that were interested in the scholarship, so it will be split 4 ways instead. Do we have any representatives here for those schools? Okay, well, we want to recognize those individuals. Number 3 is to receive notice of public hearing from the city of Livingston for annexation of 2.098 acres in R. Ferguson Abstract 245 and W.C. Hicks Abstract 282, which is located at 2852 US Highway 190 West, and it's scheduled for June 10th at 5 p.m. And so the notice is included for your review. Before we go further in information reports, I do want to say one thing. All of you received your budget last time with the workshop information. We have not received any feedback back about any questions that you might have. So we will have a workshop at the next one, but if you have any questions or comments or anything you want to add or delete, then please let us know between now and then. And I do have one thing, we will be sending out clarification for uniform versus clothing allowance, because there are some departments that have been providing clothing allowance and taking it out of their uniform. So we need to clarify, because that's an IRS requirement, that a uniform is not considered a benefit, but clothing is considered a benefit or an allowance. And so we will send out some clarification on what the difference has to be. A uniform must have stripes or a permanent patch. You look at Captain Dawson over there, it must have a permanent patch that clearly identifies it as being an office. So it can be a regular shirt that has a patch that is permanently attached or embroidered or whatever that clearly identifies it. So we will send out clarification for that, so we get that corrected. We do not want to be one of the counties that the IRS descends on.
Grady's wear it good.
Huh?
Grady's wear it good.
Yeah, I got a
Exactly.
permanent patch.
Grady definitely has on a uniform. Right? So, and if it's pants with a stripe, like a lot of the deputies wear, then that's considered a uniform. Okay, new business,
Wait a
consent,
minute, I got some
okay.
informational reports.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to let everyone know, J.C. Phillips, longtime employee, precinct 3, a good guy. He passed away this past weekend. He's been with the county, I'm not sure, around 35 years, because he was here part-time a few years, back years ago, so I'm not sure, around 35 years. He had retired, and then he came back and still ran a motor grader. He was running the motor grader until he got sick, and then
That was it.
he went to the hospital. Yeah, good guy, we're gonna miss him, a lot. And then, Sam Houston Electric Co-op, they're having their annual meeting today at 1:30 at the College Commerce Center for any members that would like to attend. That's all I got, Judge.
Thank you. Anybody else? Very well. Okay, new business, your consent agenda. You have an addendum of $1,255,155.18. Is there anything on the consent agenda that anybody wishes to pull?
So moved.
Second.
Move to approve, Commissioner Purvis, second Commissioner Cassidy, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now, new business, a regular agenda, 15A. So this is all on personnel matters. 15A, review and consider personnel action form requests submitted by department heads since last meeting and review of any authorized emergency hiring. All of these were included in your preliminary listing over the PAFs in your packet, and there are no emergency hires at this time. So I need a motion
Make a
on that.
motion.
Second.
Motion Commissioner Robertson, second Commissioner Dubose. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 15B, discuss and consider any and all necessary action relating to Road and Bridge Precinct 4 request to add foreman in a Foreman 2 position. Commissioner Cassidy has requested this agenda item, and his letter to the court is included for your review. He is requesting to add a new Foreman 2 position and to transfer Larry Hensley from Precinct 2 to Precinct 4 in his current group and step of 120, Step 9, effective June 16th. Everything was included in your packet for your review, and the funding is available.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Cassidy, Commissioner Purvis, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. C, discuss and consider request from Road and Bridge Precinct 4 to use discretionary funds for one-time bonus. Commissioner Cassidy has requested this agenda item, and his letter to the court is included for your review. He's requesting approval to use discretionary salary funds to pay out one-time bonuses to Mackie Gibson in the amount of $1,096.10, and to Caleb Pitts in the amount of $1,583.63. Both employees have reached step 16 on the pay scale and are ineligible for step increases, and the money is available.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Cassidy, Commissioner Dubose, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 15D, consider approval to reclassify Human Resources Secretary 2 to Office Manager. The FY 2026 preliminary budget included a proposal for the reclassification and restructuring in that department. And the reclassification of the Secretary 2 position was to go to Office Manager. Our Human Resources Director has identified a highly qualified candidate for the role, and is requesting the opportunity to extend an offer now to bring her on board, and we will be ready to go for the next budget year. Because of staffing vacancies in that department this year, sufficient funds are available to accommodate the reclassification.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Purvis, Commissioner Cassidy, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 16, consider request for revisions and amendments to the budget as follows. The FY 2025 budget revisions and amendments as presented by the County Auditor's Office. A copy of the proposed revision number 2025-13 and amendments 2025-13A was included in your packet for your review. I'll second. Motion to approve, Commissioner Dubus, Commissioner Robertson, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 17, discuss the status of the drought index in Polk County and consider any necessary action to regulate the use of certain fireworks for the July 4th fireworks season. For your review, we've included a copy of the Texas Association of Counties correspondence regarding the regulation of fireworks during the 4th of July fireworks period. As stated in the TAC letter, any order prohibiting or restricting the sale or use of restricted fireworks, which are skyrockets with sticks, must be adopted before June 15th if the county area is in a designated drought area. Our fire marshal has been in communication with the fire departments. What's your recommendation?
Right now, we're not in a drought status, but I think it's a good idea to restrict what they're presenting there to you on the aerials, the ones with sticks. To
So,
allow the sales of all other.
so you still wanna restrict the sale of fireworks even though we're not in a drought status?
No, not the sale of fireworks, just the restricted items,
Okay,
which are the aerial
of restricted fireworks,
skyrockets,
okay,
whatever you want to call them.
okay. What is the court's pleasure?
So in other words, the skyrocket with sticks is the one that will be restricted.
Those are
It
nor-
can be, it
Those are
can be.
normally restricted at all times during,
Okay.
because we are in an area that is prone to drought. I'm just saying, let's just go with whatever the TSC says, but we allow the normal sale of fireworks like we do all the time.
Which is, part of it is the deadline.
It just has to be.
Now, we can change that. If the fire marshal and the Forest Service determines that we are now in drought status, then we can stop all fireworks
Right,
sales.
right.
This
So-
is just more or less bottle rockets,
Yes.
what everybody calls it.
Well, yeah.
And that's been a ban for a long time. We have not allowed the sale of those bottle rockets. Y'all remember those school bottle rockets? that-
Yeah.
that fly
That you
up
threw at
over
each
the
other when you were a kid.
Yeah.
You know, and that sort of thing. We have-
Stuck in each other's pocket, watch
We
them
haven't had
run.
those been allowed for a long time. Okay?
So you need
It's
the
just a formality that the state has to go through.
Yeah, and usually the areas most impacted by any of the fireworks sale is the lake area. Because that's where,
So you do need a motion.
yes, yeah, or a discussion amongst the court.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, we have a motion, Commissioner Robertson, second, Commissioner Dubus, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Number 18, discuss and consider action relating to rescheduling the regular Commissioners Court session that is set for Tuesday, November the 11th. Due to the Veterans Holiday being Tuesday the 11th, we may wish to reschedule the first meeting, and a good day would be just the very next day, which would be Wednesday the 12th.
So moved.
Everybody okay with that? Commissioner Cassidy, Commissioner Dubus, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 19, consider approval to advertise bid number 2025-22 to replace the driveway and add handicapped accessible parking spaces at the Polk County Memorial Museum and determine method of funding. The preliminary estimates for the work needed at the museum to expand the driveway and make it ADA compliant puts the project over $50,000, and which is the competitive bid limit. And the money, we have money at this time that the project qualifies for, which is in our hot monies, our hotel occupancy tax funds. And the county has a current reserve balance in that fund of $173,461. That, those monies can only be utilized for tourism activities, for tourism projects, and that way our general fund is not affected.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Robertson, Commissioner Cassidy. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 20, discuss and consider approval of resolution authorizing a budget amendment for maintenance capital outlay buildings for the unanticipated repairs at the Polk County Jail. This item is to consider and approve the resolution authorizing a budget amendment in the amount of $234,865, utilizing surplus revenues in the general fund to cover the cost of 2 emergency repair projects at the Polk County Jail. One was the replacement of the hot water boiler, which is approved by the court on January 28th of 2025. And the other is the replacement of 3 air conditioning units, which was also approved by the court on February 11th, 2025. These unexpected equipment failures disrupted operations and also presented safety concerns for jail staff and inmates. So at the time of approval, funding was designated from capital outlay, which is the building line items, but now additional appropriations are now required to fully fund both projects, along with the other repairs that are anticipated this year. So the use of surplus revenue from the operations of IAH Secure Detention Facility would ensure compliance with purchasing and accounting procedures, maintain financial transparency, and get us out of this jam that we have at the jail in terms of compliance. At this time, we have received $273,542 more than was budgeted for the IAH per diem revenue. And so that's a source that would not affect pulling anything else out of our general fund, but still funding the projects.
So moved. Second.
Commissioner Purvis, Commissioner Cassidy, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. 21, consider any and all necessary action relating to expenditures for maintenance, capital outlay buildings, which are budgeted funds, for renovation at the Polk County Jail in the amount of $10,000. Maintenance has requested approval to pay for this invoice from Lake Area Construction from capital outlay buildings. The invoice is included for your review. It's for installation of a partition between the toilets and showers in the old section of the jail, to be in compliance with the Privacy Act.
I'll make the motion.
Commissioner Robertson, Commissioner Dubose, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 22, discuss and consider appointment of committee to review employee service awards program. Historically, the county has recognized employees reaching their 5, 10, 15, and 20 years of service with plaques. Keep in mind, we also do longevity payments, so that we want to recognize our employees, but at one time, we have some employees that appreciate the recognition, but then we have some employees that don't want another plaque. So given the cost of producing the plaques, that may not be valued by everyone, we did an employee survey to gather input, and so we have several different suggestions that our employees have brought to us. And so at this time, I think that we should have a committee, and our 2 clerks aren't here, so I think we should nominate them.
Works for me.
Agreed.
Yeah, we good with that. So moved.
And the HR director, and fair enough, don't you think, James?
Second. Yeah, that'll work.
Okay, so we got Commissioner Purvis and Commissioner Cassidy, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. I do wanna say that we, in the budget, and I know we've already kind of touched on this briefly, the employee recognition lunch was very, very well received. We got a lot of positive feedback from our employees, and that might be a good time for us to also recognize employees, to make it more, not just a lunch, but recognition of longevity. And, you know, everybody's gonna get their longevity check on their anniversary of employment, but it would be a good time to recognize those employees that are receiving plaques, regardless of when they receive the plaques. So And what we could do is extend the lunch and make it 11 to 1:30, and that way everybody's office can come be a part of it and not have take home or takeouts or whatever. So, those are options. Okay, item number 23. Review and discuss the proposal for employee health clinic and consider any and all necessary action. We formed a committee, that was appointed by Commissioners Court. I do have to say that the person that carried the greatest workload, was Tammy Plattenberg, which is our social services director. And so, she has gone through, she has, and we've looked at all the wellness information, we talked about healthcare, not having as many missed days for our employees because we were able to provide them, rapid access. So a copy of Tammy's committee report is included in your packet, for your review. Basically, what would happen is the clinic would provide valuable services to employees and their eligible family members. It would only be immediate family, so it would not extend beyond their spouse and their children. And then what they would do is they would have very low or no copays. In some cases, the counties do not have a copay, but they do give you a copay if you don't show up for your appointment when you're supposed to show up. It could potentially include an on-site pharmacy program, and it could offer vaccinations and other health support, and also support for road and bridge and maintenance and people that are out in the heat or the weather that might need assistance. It is not to take part or eliminate any of our insurance. This would be strictly as a supplement to our insurance, an additional service available to county employees. Because, and we've got our survey results now, so the group will take a look at the survey results as well. So we got our survey results on number of employees who actually have insurance, who cover their children or cover their spouse or do not, and along with the reasons why. So we would like to, opportunity to review all of that. The main concern is that there's a very high cost for dependent coverage. And this clinic would offer a meaningful way to support those employees that have uninsured or underinsured family members. So we could, our options are, we could lease space for it, or we could renovate a county-owned facility. Renovating an existing space would cost somewhere between $71,000 and $110,000. Compared to a $1,500 a month, which for a less than ideal space, and which would be way more costly in the long term for the county. Right now, we have the county's local assistance and tribal consistency ARPA allocation, which this building particularly would qualify for, and this has been identified as the best candidate for renovation. If we still have sinks in what used to be the examination rooms, so all you'd really have to do is pull up the carpet, because you can't have carpet in examination rooms. The medical professionals that have contracted may also provide services at the county jail. There has been some misinterpretation about what that means. That doesn't mean that we're going to be commingling inmates at the same time as our employees are here. So whoever is concerned about that, the services, the medical services would still continue as they are, okay? But there would not be commingling of jail inmates and county employees in this building at the same time. Let's see, that would be delivered strictly on site at the jail. And currently, the county spends nearly $300,000 annually on outsourced medical care. There are some individuals interested in this and in doing the county clinic, and that includes Dr. Raymond Luna and Ann Luna Winston, and also Dr. Andrew Gulbis, all of whom have experience serving in county medical programs. So what we'd like to do is move forward and provide this information to the committee members. I don't remember who all was on there. I know Tammy is, and I am, and you, and Commissioner Purvis? No, Guyleen. I can't remember. Okay, so, and Commissioner Robertson. Okay, so what we would like to do is really come in and do some solid numbers. But I do think that the research shows that we would benefit from this. Because if you look at our surveys, the surveys that, it certainly will bring all of the information, we just got all the information on the surveys. But our surveys do show that the majority of our employees, which is our older set, wants to maintain the low deductibles. But when they maintain the low deductibles, then the cost for our younger set that have children is too high for them to cover their children. So this would be something that would fulfill that need for those employees that currently are not covering their families and not covering their kiddos. So we would like to be able to come back to the court with a full plan. But first we need to make sure that you will definitely wish to move forward with it.
Well, I'm not a fan of it, but I mean, that's why we have insurance now. Everything that just really qualifies in my eyes, I can go through my insurance, you know what I mean, and get, so, it might be, in my eyes, maybe years on down, but right now,
Well, it's not gonna be years on down. You don't have any 3-year-olds at your house.
No, but still, I don't think that, right now, it's just.
But it won't happen right now, because we can't move out of here until we get to court.
Yeah, well, and that's who it would benefit. It would benefit those people that are not your higher paid employees, they're your lower paid employees, that cannot afford $1,400, what is it with children? It's like,
With children,
it's like $1,200 or $1,400 a month.
No, it's $400 and something.
The addition.
For children.
includes the employees.
Oh, okay, that's included. So you've got 4 or 5.
For children, it's around a little over $400.
Okay, so that the total is
Now, if you had your wife on there,
Huh?
then if you had your wife on there, then it gets.
That's right, see, and
Just
so,
about your children, your spouses, what causes it really just got
But
and the other thing too is it gives you credit on your insurance. Okay, so it reduces the cost of the insurance for the county as well, and for the people that do choose to cover their families.
We ain't talking about continue on with this, so we come back with numbers as far as what
These are some of the
you think we
numbers.
would save, what we would save to the doctor, are they on a salary, are they gonna get paid
Well-
commission, or what?
Well, right now, Ann Luna Winston and Dr. Luna already provide services, so some of those costs would be transferred over, right, and come in under this program. See, so some of the costs would shift around. And we don't have any way of knowing exactly how much money we would save.
No, not
All
exactly.
all we know is what other counties, have told us, that they have saved time lost at work and employment, that they have reduced their insurance costs. Because keep in mind that when the employees come to this clinic, then it doesn't ding you because they went to urgent doctor, I started to call it quack shack.
But you ain't gonna save no money right now. You ain't gonna save no money right now.
Well, no,
Yeah,
you're
this
never
one-
gonna
this
start a
one costs
program.
money.
Yeah, you're never gonna start a program and save money instantly.
I've been in, it's, just to know that I've been in a situation where we had this very same thing. It was in a school district, but out in El Paso, and it was one of the best things that was for the employees and the families. It saved money, it upped the attendance rate of the employees because they were not missing as much, you know, with their children. It was a win-win situation in that situation.
In that case. And Chambers County cannot say enough good things
That's true.
about theirs.
We were down there, that's exactly right.
Yes. They cannot say enough positive things about it. And we have, first of all, nothing's gonna happen until we finally move into the courthouse, right? But what that's gonna do is it's gonna create space in this building, and it's gonna create space in the annex building. And we do know that we've got to fix the annex building.
I got no problem with y'all coming back with a plan, you know, maybe
Leg it out.
have it laid out, you know. You know, it should say, you know, it should keep our insurance from going up, or it should get our insurance to drop. What it's gonna cost, whichever building you move it to, and what you would have to do.
Yeah, and this is not like your doctor, we're not replacing anybody's doctor. Okay, this is, somebody gets hurt, or, you know, someone says, oh, I don't feel right. Well, then the nurses can check them out and say, you need to go to your doctor, or you need to go to the hospital, or, you know, so this is not a replacement of their doctor. This is providing additional assistance, especially for those people that currently work for Polk County that do not have coverage for their other family members as well, so.
But for the one that have coverage also, look.
Huh?
But also for one that doesn't. have
Absolutely,
coverage.
so it's offering coverage to everybody, it's offering assistance to everybody, and according to the counties that we have spoken to, their insurance costs did go down significantly, because every time that you go to one of the emergency rooms, or you go to some of the standby clinics or emergency, our insurance gets dinged, which affects all of our rates. Am I correct on that?
Yes, ma'am. So basically, if we have a
You
person.
wanna
that
step
has-
up to the podium, James, so everyone
Oh,
can see
sorry.
you?
So yes, ma'am, if we have an employee that uses their Blue Cross Blue Shield, even going to their own doctor, that is a claim that is listed on our insurance. Every doctor's appointment, every specialist, ER visit. So yes, every claim that is filed with Blue Cross Blue Shield affects our rate. Now, the proposal is that if we're running this clinic, we don't file that with Blue Cross Blue Shield, which we would not be required to do. So that's one less claim for everybody that goes to that clinic. Over time, it would affect what our rate is. And some of the counties that had great success, like Chambers, they were self-insured. So they weren't part of TAC. So they were paying all of it out of pocket, and it changed what they had to pay out of pocket to insure their county. Now, for us, it would be a little longer process with TAC because they review over a 3-year period. So for us to say we're going to save X number of dollars, we're looking at a 4-year window to be able to give those numbers in true fairness. Okay? And we are on a pool with TAC. So depending on how things go, if we lower our rates and somebody else goes up way high, we may not see all of that benefit back right away. But the other thing that we've talked about in this committee is a lot of counties have shied away from it. They don't think they'll have the participation. if we do it and we have the participation, we could see a cost savings. What that amount is, that is a long-term thing. We're gonna have to look at it over time. But it would change that. Everybody that went to the clinic would not hit Blue Cross Blue Shield. Now, that doesn't mean they'll go to the clinic and not be sent to their doctor. If they are, then that is a Blue Cross Blue Shield claim.
Let's
So-
talk about like, could decrease the premium for health, but how much is it gonna include, how much the premium gonna be to have insurance on the health clinic? 'Cause you're
And
gonna
that
have
is
some
something-
liability there.
Right, and we did talk about, we know that there's gonna have to be some liability insurance, and those things are gonna have to be looked into. The committee hasn't quite gone that far into it. That's kind of what we're asking for now is, we've gotta look at what that's gonna be, the liability. We know basically some of the cost involved in building it or refurbishing what we want, but it needs more research. But I think it has the opportunity to offer a benefit. What that benefit is though, if you're looking for a true dollar amount right now, we're not gonna be able to provide that.
I'm not against it, but I want to see some type of, I understand it can't be true, but some kind of estimate on what you say. And also, and I don't remember, because I was fairly young, but I know Polk County got out of the hospital business. But it was
We're not going into the hospital business.
But it's kind of, it's kind of like the beginning step of getting back in it.
No. No, we're talking about a preventive clinic, which is nowhere near being in
I know it's not
hospital
near the
administration.
hospital, but it's just.
No, we're talking about providing a service, not necessarily making major medical decisions, and having people stay overnight. We're talking about preventive medicine for those children, of the people that are insured and uninsured, right? Of taking care of their children, of making sure that we do preventive type medicine, not making major medical decisions. The major medical decisions would go to the hospital, to the doctor, to whoever they need to go to.
So the two main goals of this is to help save money on premium and take care of the employees and their family.
Yes.
Two main objectives of this.
The main goal is to provide assistance to those people with their families.
And the jail that with them.
Yes. And we have the jail medical, whether we want them or not.
Right, exactly, we got them, I
Yeah,
understand that.
we've got them. So if we can piggyback off their costs and help, our employees, that's what we would do. Tammy, would you come up here and provide us with some information as well?
Sure. I'll try. Okay, so I know that you're looking at this as it's not a good thing, but I came from Walker County and they have a rural health clinic for the employees. It's 12 doctors there. And every time if I got sick, I could just go out the back door of the hospital, go to the doctor, get taken care of. If I needed to go into the hospital, it was automatically send me to the hospital. If I needed my blood pressure medicine refilled or anything like that, it was at hand. I didn't have to try to go to urgent doc. I didn't have to try to go to my doctor, which might take me 2 weeks to get in. I could get in right then and there, and I wouldn't have to worry about so much as, oh, it's gonna be 2 weeks where we can get you in, we'll refill your medicines, or you haven't had your blood work done. So that kind of stuff where you can get it done automatic in the facility. That's what we're trying to do with that.
But it's like someone, for instance, say the highly alert hard night, they could walk in there and get a shot.
Yes.
Yep.
Get steroids, get themselves taken care of. Or if they had a, heat stroke or something, they could automatically go over there, the services could be provided.
Who mans this clinic? We have a doctor that's gonna be
Yes,
there all day, every
there's
day?
gonna
or-
be, well, what you're gonna have is the nurse practitioner is what we're looking at, and then the director is the doctor.
The director.
So she will answer to him, and there are nurses that work for her will answer to her. So she will get all of her supervisory things from the doctor.
I guess what I need to see is how much is it gonna cost to staff this clinic?
Well, right now, it's kinda hard to say, but if we keep the ones that we already have, they're already on board. You know, so I don't know exactly what they're paying, what they're being paid right
Yeah,
now.
but they also have their own separate practice that.
Yes, but he's willing to on board with this and kinda just like bring ours. You know, we go over there for, on hiring and
The
your
physicals and
physicals and
everything,
stuff
yes,
like that. That service will be provided
That's
for
gonna
his
get
nurse
rolled in.
practitioner, because his office is too small, and he liked the idea of having that on-site program for Polk County employees. That idea was really, really good to him.
So as far as at the clinic, it'd be a nurse practitioner there.
Nurse practitioner.
At all
yes,
times.
Yes, that is correct. But she would
During
have
the day, not
access, she would have
24 hours,
access
during the
to
day.
the doctor. Anything that she needed to ask, but, you know, they're just as qualified as the doctor is. And they're trying to make that a rule where they can run an office themselves.
And that's the same thing that Chambers County does. They don't have a doctor
No.
that's all there all day, every day,
Yeah,
okay? It's similar to the court and.
yeah, we don't have one.
Yeah, you don't have one in
James,
court.
James is
Yeah.
a nurse practitioner.
Yeah,
I understand the concept, but I mean, is they gonna work for the county?
it's gonna be like a contract.
Yes.
I'm open to it.
Yeah, we
See
need some more, more information.
Okay, all of you should have the reports and all the interviews that Tammy has already sent everybody. So review those, you know, and then we will come to the court and present the final information, the yay or nay. But you already should have, because Tammy has sent you multiple interviews. I believe you sent an interview with Dr. Luna.
Yes.
Dr.
Gulbis.
Gulbis. She has researched what they do in Walker County, Chambers County,
Jefferson.
and the other counties that are engaged.
Yeah. And as I put on there, you see as it grows, if we can even pull in a pharmacy and get free medication for the employees versus going to the pharmacy, paying $6, $7, $10, $30, $40, $50, $100, that pharmacy also would help the employees free medicine. Because they have county drugs that are direct RX that comes in and they send you insulin and stuff like that. We don't have to pay for it. So that would help too.
In my mind, the goal is to provide a benefit to our employees. Are we going to immediately see the monetary savings? No. But we will be able to fund portions of this from money that we are already expending.
Again, that better attendance rate also.
The better attendance rate is huge.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's huge. You know, if I'm a diabetic and my blood sugar is going wonky and I can come over here and get immediate relief, then I can go right back to work instead of having to go sit in a waiting room or go get stabilized at the emergency room.
Right. Not only that, you can get your blood work,
Yeah,
your yearly well man, well woman. So
Yes.
it would be right at your hand. You wouldn't have to worry about trying to make your appointment with your doctor. And all of that could be sent to the doctor without any problem.
yeah, you're still gonna send it to their primary. Which is not necessarily guaranteed if you're going to Urgent Doc or you're going to one of those other clinics. You may tell them you want it to go to your doctor, but it doesn't necessarily make it there. Basically, what we wanna know is, do you want us to continue to pursue this? We have provided information, you know, several times, and so we need for all of you to review the information you've received. If we need to send it to you again, then we can do that as well. And tell us,
Guess so. I mean, Y'all was talking about surveys, did we survey the employees to see if they,
Yes, sir, and that's part of what we will bring you. We just got the results today.
okay.
But that's part of what we will
If
see.
they're not gonna use it, they ain't no point in us doing it.
I don't remember the exact numbers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know
But it
either, but I
was-
mean,
but it
that's
was-
something that we.
Well, that was one of the questions we asked. We said we are researching a clinic, and it was close to 50%,
I believe so.
yeah, or higher, that said, yes, they would be interested, they would use it. Because we had the same question. That's why we surveyed our employees. Because if you're not gonna use it, well, then there's no purpose in us going through this effort.
Well, I'm not closing the door on it, but just top of my head, I can't see where we're gonna save a lot of money, but I'm open to looking more at it, I'll tell you that.
Well, it's not, I'm gonna discredit right away that it's gonna save us a lot of money. It is not gonna save us a lot of money immediately. And a lot of it is not going to be able to be measured, like, I'm not gonna be able to say, here, I saved you $25. Because what is it worth if an employee goes back to work instead of going home that day? I can't measure that for you.
Carrie's got something.
But I guess I'm looking more at the cost than the savings.
Can I just say, I mean, I've been to an urgent doc twice in the last year, and it was because I had some sort of a cold or something like that. That's $80 copays that I paid, that if I could have come here, I would not have had to pay that copay. And just to get a prescription, which if I could have gotten from here, would have been cheaper and easier than going to the pharmacy. Actually, I had to wait to get it from the pharmacy the next week. So the potential savings to the employees is really what you should be considering.
And that's my point, that the savings is not going to be necessarily in our budget book, certainly not immediately. The savings is with the employee.
And the other counties, they have, more employees there, but the fact that 3,000 of them show up at the clinic because they need attention right then and there, or they had to get something, so an incentive to come, they offer that too, so, you know, it's not what you might think a lost cause, it is a win-win. Cause like I tell you, the one in Huntsville, I worked in it, I onboarded the doctors, and it really does work, cause they want to get in, cause you know how difficult it is to try to get into your doctor, and he's like, it'll be 3 days, or you know, you're happy when you can get right in, versus waiting, you know, your blood pressure's like, oh man, now I gotta go to the ER. Well, this, you won't have to.
Well, you can show up at your doctor's office sick as a dog, but everybody that has an appointment is gonna go before you.
Yes.
Which means you're gonna sit there from 8 o'clock in the morning till 4. When everybody else gets shipped home, come on in.
Exactly.
So, okay. I do need an okay from the court for us to continue and to bring a final information to you.
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Mr. Robertson, do I have a second?
Well, I'll second for the investigating.
Well, we've sent y'all information and sent you information and investigated, so when we come back, we're gonna bring you a final thing, and then you'll have to say yea or nay.
If we wanna come back, if that's for approval, I'll second here to investigate it some more.
Okay, so the final will be the next court. For one, if we're gonna do it, then we have to get it in the budget, and I have to take away Larry Dawson's money. Okay, I have a motion and a second, all in favor say aye. Any opposed?
I'm gonna oppose.
Okay, opposed, Commissioner Dubus. Okay,
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
motion to adjourn, what time is it, Madam Clerk?
It is 10:54.
Okay, thank you, everybody.